Hi, I'm Nirvana, and today I'm going to be answering my third question for my CCR, which is how did my skills develop throughout the project and throughout this media journey. So for the first thing I'd like to talk about would be the skills and how they developed and everything, particularly from my background in this industry, as well as working on different projects before, and then my preliminaries especially till now. And I think before, I've always loved movies. I've always loved cinemas. My entire room is covered in posters because I think movies have always been this genuine form of escapism for me. They've always made me feel warm and happy, and I think I found so much love, I think, in cinema, and it's something that I would love to dedicate my life to this subject in this room and make movies, and it's my dream, you know. So there's that perspective, and I think from that already gave me a pretty good step in terms of really liking it. On top of that, I've seen my father, who also works in this industry, and I fell in love with it back in 7th grade when I saw him actually do it, and I saw the scenes and sets, and I saw something beautiful being created. I think it moved me, and I think it's largely very inspiring. So that's, I think, where my love for this entire subject came from. And then besides that, I think when you look at things, my first time ever experimenting or doing something this was with a project I did myself called Insaf, following a very horrific case that happened in our country, trigger warning us like a rape case. And on top of that, so Insaf is an Urdu word that means justice, and I wanted to make a small little project with a voiceover in terms of life over here as a woman and in Pakistan and how difficult it was, and just to convey how I felt about the situation. And it was my first time working with it. I was 16 and it was my first time using things like Premiere or shooting, and like it was very difficult, and like honestly, if you look at it, my project now, it's kind of amateurish in that sense, but I think it was a really great sense of me actually realizing it's something I really enjoy doing. This project, however, though, and specifically our preliminaries, it was our first kind of dive into these things, and I think we were able to really see and understand for our first preliminary of our character introduction. We were able to really, grasp the perspective of an idea and really explore that and see how we could use camera techniques, composition, direction, and like build an idea and actually see it transcribe on screen. And it was something that wasn't real or without any sort of social significance in that sense. It was mainly just, it was a story. And it was my first time doing something like that. And I think from there, as a director, my skills really changed. I saw myself taking a more leader kind of role, a leading role, whenever I had to manage everything in terms of from the very beginning of our project, in terms of organizing my group, and then in terms of that planning out every single shot beforehand. So pre-production, our set work, our actual shooting, all the way to our post-production, and then the final version of our project. So I think in terms of a director, my leadership skills, my delegating skills, my management skills, I think that's what really changed and really brought this whole new idea and way in terms of my own thing. And I think it was genuinely such a huge learning curve in terms of trying to, do something that was going to be different and actually be able to do a good job at it, and to make everybody feel included, and to make my actors feel good, and to make make the whole vision actually transcribe on screen. So I think definitely as a viewer, as a director, I saw my skills really change, especially with the preliminaries. Alright, so for the second part of my project, for my second preliminary, it was a 180-degree conversation that was planned out by my team member Fatma Sami, and sadly, unfortunately, they were unable to be a part of that shoot, so I had to shoot the entire thing myself as well as editing it. And I edited the first two preliminaries, and I think from an editing standpoint, it really helped me get familiar with the softwares in terms of music, in terms of audio, and then also in other aspects of just shooting everything and understanding camera angles and composition, and really getting an idea and a feel of what the project should be and how I should kind of go about it. So that, I think, was really beneficial to me in terms of learning, and I saw my skills genuinely change and develop so much throughout with that. And I think that was something that really did help in terms of editing and understanding softwares like iMovie or Premiere Pro. So moving on from my preliminaries, I think were amazing, and I think really great in terms of establishing a basis and a baseline in terms of what to expect for the final project, and especially because we had so many different variations. We started shooting back in January 2022 and we cast it in December 2021, and then following that our final draft was kind of done by the end of February. So we had multiple different shots, and we didn't even use any of them. So the variation in terms of the vision and in terms of how comfortable we got actually with the project, with the story, with the idea as an actress as well, there was so much in it. So I feel like as a director, my own skills developing was my leadership, being able to put a vision on screen. It really helped, I think, in refurbishing and making something, I think, incredible and beautiful, especially with an aesthetic appeal. So yeah, I think that's what I would say about the background of this. Hi, so I thought for our second part of the CCR question, might as well show you where it all began. So come on. This is where all of our brainstorming, all of our group meetings, our very first shoot, our first time kind of talking about the project, it all happened over here. And I thought no better place to talk about how my personal skills developed, because every single thing started here back in October. So come on. We would sit over here. This is Freddie's post and this is mine. And we had all of our group meetings. We had our first shoot right over here. And it was just, I think, really great. Plus we have the beautiful background of the Margala Hills. It was so scenic and so beautiful. And I think it really gave us a really good connection with nature and allowed us to really distress ourselves and calm down and be able to relax and really understand and plan our entire shoots and our project according to, just to get a breather. I think this was pretty great, and I thought that's why maybe it'd be best to talk about the project over here. So in terms of my personal skills developing, there are a couple of different ways. Like we talked about previously, as a director, I saw myself taking on the role of delegating, managing, organizing our entire scenes from pre-production to our shoots, to our sets, all the way to our post-production in terms of whenever the project actually reached an audience. And from there, I think my other aspect as well in my roles would be as an editor, as a writer mainly, as an actress. These are the two main things that I think were very, very challenging, especially acting, because acting was something I had never done before. It was something completely out of my comfort zone, this new thing I was trying out, and it allowed me to look at it as a new adventure of, you know, doing something in terms of learning how to use the frequency of my voice in terms of communicating, or in terms of making effective communication, enunciating my words, slowing down when I speak, speaking in a way to give a captivating performance, to be able to engage an audience, to bring in a lot more in terms of ideas and perspective and uniqueness, and to really, I think, try to encapsulate an audience. I really, really wanted to be able to make a performance that'd be worthwhile, that people actually wanted to listen to and actually wanted to watch. And I think from a writer's perspective, it allowed me to, I feel like, truly understand the character, which allowed me to really become her and understand her pain and be able to show that pain on screen, because I think that was what gave me an advantage, because I understood this character so well. Because all these sleepless nights I'd be thinking about the project, and I'd be thinking about her background, her story arc, and I'd be making these plot lines for her and her husband, so that whoever plays them, they'd know about the character, they could immerse themselves in that and become the character. And from that perspective, I think that's what gave me that advantage. So in terms of my skills developing, since I'd never done something like this before, I think it gave me so much confidence as well in terms of trusting myself, you know, in terms of building my self-esteem, in terms of becoming someone who had more of an insight in terms of stuff like this, being able to learn how to use my voice, how to, you know, how to get my point across, how to make captivating performances. And I think as an actress, it was just something that was completely new and exciting and interesting. And that's why I think it was really great, and I think a very great opportunity for me to have. So when we come to things like writing has always been something I've always enjoyed doing. It's been something that has been a part of me. It's made my heart truly so happy. I've really truly enjoyed writing since I was a very young girl, and specifically I think mainly in the past few years I've come to appreciate really good dialogue, good scripts, good screenplays, and, you know, communication, because so much happens in terms of language. And I think our language is so broad, so huge, that there is so much that I don't think there's anything that we cannot describe with how many words we have and how many languages we have. So from that perspective, I think as a writer, it gave me a lot more freedom in terms of understanding things. I was able to talk about, for instance, in our preliminaries, like my group members would provide an idea, like a seed of an idea, and then I would practice with mise-en-scène, pick a location, scout actors, try things, and build a storyline around that idea. So I think as a writer, I got that freedom in terms of even understanding how to write screenplays and how to talk about certain things and how to properly develop things, introduce characters, introduce climaxes or plot lines or, you know, plot twists. I was able to really, I think, look at it from an audience's perspective and deliver things that was writing that was fiction. And I thought it was something really cool, because usually I'd write things that were very real, prevalent to society and social issues, but in this, I think it really took me and allowed me to be able to write in a sense that I was able to really understand and develop stories, develop plot lines, become more equipped and better with that. And I think in general, this was such a huge learning curve in terms of writing and writing skill. And I'm truly, I think I'm just so grateful for my entire performance and in the entire project from the very beginning, for my amazing group member, and in terms of this huge learning curve for myself, in terms of even becoming a director, being a balance between looking at scenes from behind the scenes, planning out everything, and then actually acting. I lost the benefit of being behind the screen, but I got the advantage of really giving it my all and showing exactly what I wanted to the audience. And from that perspective, I think it was truly very great and a very amazing experience, and I hope that you all like it. Thank you.